Booby Gibson. Of course, we're joined by Rafa Hernandez Brito as well. And there goes who do we got there today,
We
Booby?
got Leonardo. He's struggling today, man. He had a long night. He keep passing out, Rob. He won't stay up, man. There we go.
Leonardo just got back from the All-Star break. Give him a little break. He's still recovering.
Exactly. We can tell he had a good night last night.
Rob, how was your All-Star break, man?
It was great. I didn't have to work. I was in Miami. I still am. So it was excellent. I enjoy all the festivities. I don't want to fix anything. A couple of things I could recommend the league, but it was awesome to see, the 3-point shooting contest. The skills challenge is what it is. I think if you go into the All-Star break with the expectation of what you're gonna watch, you enjoy all the stars and all the legends and all the stuff going on.
You so nice, Rob.
Booby's giving us a thumbs down over here.
So nice. Just the thumbs down to the skills challenge, and I mean the dunk contest will be like what it is, but big thumbs down this year to the game itself. Like I love, obviously these guys are stars and they play a lot of minutes for their team, so it's tough to go out there and play a serious game knowing you have the back stretch of your season coming up. But at the end of the day, like they're voted in as the best players in the world, and I think the fans want to see them for a little bit compete at a high level, as opposed to it just being guys just out there it was like a shoot around. It was like a shoot around. It wasn't even a real game. It was never a moment where anybody played defense.
But who's wrong, Booby? The players for doing what they've been doing for the last, 10 years, or the fans who actually expect different every year and they just keep getting the come on. Give me a break. I mean, it's a show. I think the only thing I would do is, you're right, the skill challenge is if you
don't see
think
no
they didn't
skills.
play hard, if you think they didn't play hard during the game, the skill challenge is just you don't even know how to describe it. But maybe they should say like no layups allowed. If you're gonna put on a show, if you're gonna play defense, then put on a show and then do the half shots like Dave Lillard did. But it is what it is, man. It's a celebration. I enjoy the morning. I don't know if you guys watched it, but on NBA TV they had the Legends breakfast or the Legends lunch and Sam Perkins and Larry Bird and all these guys were there talking about what Indiana was. They had a more Indiana Glory show between Reggie Miller, Isaiah Thomas, and Larry Bird talking about what basketball means. I mean, that's what the week is all about. It's a celebration. I mean, if we keep thinking that they're gonna come in there and take charges and play defense and do all that, I mean, yes, that's how it used to be, but if we are in a generation of social media where we fix everything, I mean, come on. Enjoy the show, man.
Yeah, I love the show, and you got a point. The tradition is what All-Star Weekend is all about. But just for me as a player, I would just like to see, I would love to see Giannis and LeBron have a moment where they really guard each other for a second. Because I just think about those, what was it, like the 90s, where you had Kobe, Garnett, and all those guys. They still put on a show, but at the same time, you still had competitive basketball. And to me, that's more fun to watch. It's just more fun. It's just more fun to see guys competing rather than, I don't want to see 200 points of guys just shooting jump shots and open dunks.
Don't you think it's cool though? Like, hear me out from a fan's perspective. Don't you think that it's cool? And maybe it's different for you because you did play. Right. But I think for a fan, just to play devil's advocate, that it could be cool if people just take it at face value, because this is what a shoot around's like. I mean, these guys are hitting 3-pointer after 3-pointer, and it's cool to see one time a year. And that's why I agree with Ralph. I don't think it needs fixed because it's cool to see what would happen if there was no defense played in a game.
Well, we watch shoot around. They film shoot around where they do the same thing. They go out there, shoot half court shots and dunk and talk on the mic and have microphones. I mean, if that's the case, then make it a whole show. You know what I mean? Put mics on the guys. Let's hear some conversations. Let's, put on a full show. But the competitive aspect I just wish was higher. But I agree with you guys. It is a show. It is just an opportunity for us to acknowledge these guys for the work they put in during that season. So you don't want to put a heavy workload on them, but it don't hurt too much play a little defense, man, in my opinion.
I take it from you, Booby, because you have been there and done that and done it at the level that you are saying we should expect.
Yeah.
But for people like me to complain about what we saw on Sunday, I can't even do what they did on Sunday, man. Come on.
Nah, I hear that, man. And that's the last thing you want to do when you get an all-star break is to think about going out there having to really compete. Nah, you're right. But at the same time, I think the fans would enjoy a little bit more if they
Not to mention that they all probably have 2 or 3 events to do in the community with all the scholarship awards getting out, with all the refurnishing of courts and everything they did. I mean, that's what the NBA All-Star Break is all about now. The money that comes into the city of Indianapolis, the money that gets spread around in the community and the HBCUs and all that. I think that's something that has grown so much.
Yeah, for sure.
All those years where everybody was playing hard, there was nobody getting 250,000 donations for the East winning the game.
They would.
I mean, come on.
A little bit. They was making donations. I feel you, but you just spoke to some money. I know if they put some money on the floor, I bet them guys will play a little harder. You know, put a little bankroll in their pockets. You'll get them out there dunking and playing some defense for sure.
Booby, how was your All-Star weekend? Did you get a chance to step away, kind of just hang out? I know you've been so busy throughout the season with the Charge and helping out with the Cavs and just doing everything.
Nah, man, honestly, my breaks are, or I get a chance to go see my son. That's my break. So I took a couple days to go hang out with him, and then it was right back to it because we got the Stop the Violence event coming up, and so I had to get back and do promo for that. So I've been on the Cleveland News, I've been on the Cleveland radio, just doing the whole media gauntlet, man, just spreading the word for this event we got coming up at Garfield Heights, just getting people out for a great cause. So I really haven't taken a break, man, and it's not really work for me because I love basketball so much, so it's not work.
Were you wearing makeup at Fox News this morning?
Yeah, I did the Good Morning Cleveland.
Did they put makeup on you?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, guys. Today on the show, we are going to discuss the biggest headlines pertaining to our Cleveland Cavaliers. We're then going to look at some of the top stories around the NBA. Of course, we have a dumb tweet that Raf is going to rip to shreds. You guys got off easy last week, and this week he's coming for vengeance. He might be in Miami, but he's still been on the internet. We're then going to rank our top 3 European NBA players of all time. This is in honor of Nikola Jokic, who dropped his list earlier this week. Then we're going to take a quick trip down memory lane with Booby. Don't go anywhere. More Booby's World right after this. Welcome on back into Booby's World right here on the Big Play Network. I'm Nick Padone. He is Daniel Booby Gibson. Robert Hernandez Brito joins us from Miami on All-Star Week break. Guys, let's take a look at the second half of the season for our Cleveland Cavaliers. There are 29 games remaining, but I think the question that people are asking heading into this next slate of games is, can the Cavs stay hot? With a week off for NBA All-Star, is there any kind of threat that could throw off the momentum and the rhythm that the Cavs had built going into the All-Star break, Booby?
I mean, no. I feel like this is just be more of an opportunity for these guys to figure out these rotations, for these guys to work on catching rhythm towards the end of the year. And I mean, I feel like this is the tough part of JB's job. Now you getting these guys coming off of All-Star break. Everybody's healthy. You got all your guns loaded, ready to go. And now it's just a matter of finding that groove. And I mean, at this point, it's not the worst thing to take a L or 2 here and there, just to make sure you work out the kinks and you have everybody focused on the right things come playoff time.
I think the answer is the same as it was on last show. It's the fact that this is not the fact of the Cavs peaking.
Yeah.
This is just the Cavs being who they are. I think if you look at the fact that we are still the second best defense in the league, allowing less points than we did last year when we were the best defense, and we are 26-3 when we allowed less than 109 points, which is the average right now. I think it's 109.3 as we record this. So if the Cavs continue to be who they are, which is everybody fulfilling their roles to the best of their abilities without worrying about what everybody else is doing on the court. And everybody talking about sports in Cleveland with you, Nick, before you went on the air, that we have a ton of GMs and coaches in the fan base.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, when it was announced that Donovan Mitchell, that Darius Garland and Kevin Mobley were going to be out for a certain amount of time, which ended up being like a month, what was the reaction in the GMs online? Trade Donovan Mitchell, do it right now, or start back from scratch, right?
Yeah, right.
And we have that run, the best record in the league since December 16th. And what was it? What was the sentiment then? Trade Mitchell, trade Garland and Mobley because we're doing so well right now. We don't want to ruin it. They come back. We are 11-1.
Yeah.
Since they started to get back into the lineup. So what's going to be the take now? It's just I enjoy what these guys have been able to do, led by Kobe Altman and JB Bickerstaff and the coaching staff, and executing, which I think, Booby, you and I agree on, is the fact that this is who the Cavs are,
Yes.
and this is what the NBA is going to have to deal with. Now, health has to be on our side because we know what happens when, down the stretch. And I think matchup schedule is going to be difficult. The Cavs have a stretch in the month of March where they play 15 games in 15 different cities, which means they're going to have to travel after every game, even the home games. So enjoy it one game at a time, and my trust is on the fact that the Cavs are going to be able to keep what they have been doing since they figure out that it was better to go back to playing Cavs basketball, which is sharing the ball. I come in loaded today. For the Cavs, when they have at least 28 assists this season, their record is 20-5. Right. So that means that when they play Cavalier basketball, that JB Bickerstaff installed in this organization 4 years ago, almost to the date. Yeah, that's what the Cavs have to continue to do to stay atop on the East.
Absolutely, man. You alluded to culture. We've created a culture, and you just got to plug in the pieces, and these guys get out there and get it done. And I anticipate nothing other than that happening for the rest of the season. And to your point, I do feel like we have a tough stretch to end the year, but don't get worried. If we lose a game or two here or there, it's just the perfect opportunity to tighten things up, just like you said, and go into the playoffs with the right momentum.
I want to comment on a couple of things that you guys just said right there. One, it was a brutal week for the people that were 100% confident that Donovan Mitchell hates Cleveland and he wants the first trip out of here. I mean, he seems to be pretty happy right here in Cleveland. He's even said so himself. It was really encouraging to see that. It was awesome to see, and we got a sneak preview of it, him coming out wearing that Money Merrill jersey for the three-point competition, showing some love for Sam Merrill. That was really cool to see. But another piece in what the Cavs have to do down this stretch of games is get that lineup set, get the rotation set to get ready for the playoffs. We know that's what matters so much for this Cavs season. Booby, what are you expecting to see out of that in the last half of the season?
Reps, man. Reps. I think these guys need to, hopefully, to Ralph's point, stay healthy, because health matters. But if we can keep these guys on the floor, the biggest thing will be reps and experience going into some of these games where we'll be coming off leaving a home game and traveling. So some of those games you aren't necessarily predicted to win, but they're character building games. You get to go into those games and it's just your 15 guys against that entire arena, and we'll continue to have those moments. So I just think that the reps of these guys, of these lineups playing together, is going to be major for these guys finding some chemistry down the line. I mean, towards the end of the season.
And I think, Booby, you can relate to this, but the trust that these guys have on each other, I think, is incredible. And I think it goes a long way. Everybody forget the last 2-3 games before the All-Star break, we played them without Dean Wade. So JB Bickerstaff again had to reshuffle and bring in Isaac Okoro, who has become the player that everybody keep saying that he should be, right? He's hitting threes and playing defense. And when we have Wade and Okoro with that point of attack defense, it just changes everything for the Cavaliers. So I think down the stretch, we already see JB Bickerstaff kind of tinkering with the rotation. Sam Merrill is the one that seems to be losing the minutes. But guess what? He knows that he has to be ready because that bell is going to ring again. And when JB goes to the right and says, hey, Sam, get in there, he knows he has to perform. So that way, everybody stays ready. And I think what they have to do is continue to trust on each other and keep doing what they have to do. Just play the role.
And Booby, as somebody that was that guy throughout your career, where the coach is looking down the bench for you to be ready and be prepared. What is that like, when your number does get called to go in there and start shooting it?
Hey, listen, everybody can't do it. It is a gift, but I think Sam Sam Muddy Merrill has proven it time and time again. He cannot play for 3 games. He could play 30 minutes. He could play 3 minutes. And that's what you do. That's called being a pro. A pro's pro. You come into practice early. You leave practice late. You getting all your shots up so that because you know that when your number's called, you're expected to go in the game and make shots regardless of if you play it or not. And so Sam is that guy. Sam prepares every day. He's put the work in. I watched him do it for an entire season last year. So no doubt in my mind, if a number 5 is called on that floor, he'll be prepared. And he's the perfect guy for the job. Like, that's a luxury for JB to just have a guy like that just waiting in the wings to come in and knock down shots.
And there's one very important piece right here that Sam mentioned it to me about communication between the coaching staff and the players, that there's nobody surprised on game night that his number was not called. So Sam knows if he's not going to play because of matchups, then he can go a little harder during morning shoot around and after shoot around and in the morning and at night before the game, because he knows that there's, all these things can happen and he's going to have to play. But he knows when to go hard with weights, when to go hard with his pregame stuff, because JB has talked to every single one of them about what the rotation is going to look like that night. So I think that, I don't know if that happens with every coach, Booby, but I think something that goes a long way in terms of performance and being ready.
Nah, that transparency, Ralph, is big time for a coaching staff to have with their players, because that develops trust with your players. Because the last thing you want to do is think you're going to play, don't prepare as hard, and then don't get in the game, and now you lose some of that rhythm and lose some of that momentum. So big ups to the coaching staff for being transparent and allowing and giving the players an opportunity to stay prepared. It says a lot about what we're doing out here as a culture.
All right, straight ahead. There was a dumb tweet that was sent this week. Rafa saw it, and he will react next on Booby's World. Welcome on back into Booby's World right here on the Big Play Network. It is time for Raf's dumbest tweet of the week, and you guessed it. It had a little something to do with NBA All-Star Weekend. So, Raf, I'm gonna read this for you here. Stephen A. Smith calls NBA All-Star Game an absolute travesty following low-effort contest.
There you go,
what can
Stephen
I tell you? Dumb. Because it's two things here. To keep expecting it to be different from what we've seen the trend has been the last, 5 years, you would say? I don't know when it actually changed, but it has changed. And also, just insisting on something. Stephen A. Smith is probably in the same group of people that say they don't like soccer because there's not enough scoring. So the NBA All-Stars go out and put 211 points, and now there's too much scoring, and they want charges taken, and they want it to run up and down when it's supposed to be the All-Star break. So just stop demanding these guys to go all their hard. I understand you want it different, you want a more, like I said, get rid of the layups, and if you want to do something, put on a show. Do something that we know you can do that we cannot do. But to continue to expect that you're going to see Game 7 at the All-Star game is just plain dumb.
Nah, I'm with you on that, Rob. But to call it a travesty is a bit of a travesty, is a bit of a reach, But I feel him a little bit. You know what I mean? We ain't got to be out here taking charges and diving on the floor and all of that. But just stay in front of a guy for 2 slides. Just maybe 2.
You know what's a travesty and what's dumb and what should be changed?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
A travesty is Stephen A. Smith pretending to be a head coach on the celebrity game and actually thinking he was Red Auerbach, giving these people advice on a game that means absolutely nothing. Jennifer Hudson was playing in it, for Christ's sake. And he's telling us to step on, drink your hand, get back on him. Come on, man.
I mean, did you see his jump shot before the game? That should have told you everything you needed to know about his coaching prowess.
Booby, what were your thoughts on the rest of the All-Star Weekend? The one thing I really wanted to ask you about was the Steph and Sabrina 3-point shootout. I mean, Sabrina was awesome. She started off really, really hot, and then Steph just found a way to put up one more. What were your thoughts watching that go down?
Nikki P, that is so hard to do, and it was just so phenomenal to see both of them sit through a whole 3-point shootout before they got out there. So they both got out there cold. And I've done the 3-point shootout, and I was like second to last in one group, and I couldn't find a rhythm. So for them to be able to find a rhythm and not only perform well, I mean, just blow it out of the water, I wouldn't have had a chance against Sabrina in that 3-point shootout. And I feel like I still can shoot the ball at a very high level. And then not only that, Steph comes in and almost drops a 30 ball to close the deal. I mean, it was showtime. It was everything you wanted from shooters. And I'm glad that Sabrina got to get out there and show the world it don't matter. Shooters shoot. And you get out there and you let that basketball fly. And it was a great show by those two. I think that was my favorite part of the weekend, to answer your question.
Give me more of that. Give me Sabrina Ionescu scoring enough points to have qualified for the final in the men's 3-point shooting contest. Shooting from the men's 3-point line. Give me more of the WNBA getting the spotlight during the NBA All-Star Week. That's something that you gotta take out of this kind of event. It is a celebration. It is something that to see how many people you think of the millions that broke records of watching that. I would guarantee you that not even a quarter of them has ever watched a WNBA game, and now they know that there are players of the caliber of Sabrina playing at the WNBA level. So that's something that you got to take out of this.
That was special, man. From the NBA line to go 26 right away, that is special. And I heard Kenny Smith say something along the lines of shoot at the WNBA line. I don't want to hear any of that. I feel like she was able to.
No fixing it.
Yeah, man.
She would have qualified.
That
with Dame and everybody else who played in the men's shooting contest.
She would have took me out no problem. I mean, hey, what can I say, man? That was a hell of a performance by her.
And if you know anything about the NBA guys, you know that they like testing ideas like this. Yeah. And I think it was such a success. We'll see it be expanded on in All-Star games to come. And you look at the WNBA, Raf, to your point, there is some superstardom that's going to be coming in to that league with Caitlin Clark. And I really think they start to grow upon that idea and have Steph and Sabrina keep it alive, because they both expressed interest afterwards of doing it again next year and running it back.
Yeah, I mean, Steph, go ahead, Ralph. I feel like
it's going to be in San Francisco, so you're not going to be in Steph's backyard.
That's what I was about to say. I'm not
going to trash it the way Chuck was trashing San Francisco during the whole weekend. But I think, if Caitlin Clark comes out, because God knows now when she's making State Farm commercials and stuff, I don't think she needs to come out right away. If she comes out, and maybe you have, Sabrina and Caitlin against Dame and Steph. I don't care. It is something that everybody, you know what's great about this kind of event, Nick and Booby, that you bring in the fans from outside your fan base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now you have people that are not basketball, NBA or WNBA fans coming in to see what is the noise is all about. And I think that's what's great. You mentioned the NBA like to test things. The best part about that, and Commissioner Adam Silver, is that the stuff that doesn't work, they discard it right away. This whole thing about the draft and picking players, I thought they noticed that it didn't really get the mileage they wanted, so they go back to East and West. So, hey, celebrate. I love the incorporation of the WNBA into that weekend, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna do even better next year.
Yes, sir. And like, to your point, just with it being in Steph's backyard, it'll just be awesome to take that thing, take that thing to another level for sure.
It'll be exciting to see what they do with that. It was great to hear that both Sabrina and Steph had a lot of fun with it, because I know we all had a lot of fun watching it. Straight ahead, Nikola Jokic dropped his starting 5 European players. We are going to rank our top 3 European players. It's Booby for 3. Don't go anywhere. More Booby's World right after this. Welcome on back into Booby's World right here on the Big Play Network, doing the show from the shores of the beautiful Lake Erie. He's Booby Gibson. Rafa Hernandez Brito joins us from Miami. Look at the sunshine there, Raf. Appreciate you showing it off for us. Hey, but you know what was fun? Our guys at Tipico had the odds up for the All-Star game.
Did we?
And me and Booby, We got it right. We predicted the over. Raf, you were a little bit nervous on the over for the All-Star game, and then they came out and dropped 200 points.
Yes, sir.
Did the Eastern Conference.
I kept hearing all you guys talking about going back to playing hard, and Kobe said this. And I should have gone with my knowledge.
You got to get your Booby boost, Raf. You got to get your Booby boost. It's an easy win. Easy win. Anybody, get your Booby boost whenever you can. I'm telling you, easy win.
So if you guys don't know what Booby is talking about, download the Tipico Sportsbook app now. When you do, use promo code Booby100.
Yes,
and what he's doing is he is submitting boosts to Tipico Sportsbook since he can't actually bet as a Cleveland Cavalier, Cleveland Charge employee. He's giving you assists. Booby's throwing lobs. He's not shooting anymore. He's throwing you lobs of his picks for the NBA, for our Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of three-point props. You know those are coming. So bet $25 on a Booby boost, and you're going to get $100 of bets on Tipico to keep betting with Booby. Keep betting with the show and the Big Play Network with the Booby boost, and we had a lot of fun with All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad we went 1-0 over Raf on the show. Feels good.
Easy work. Easy work.
1-0.
Doesn't mean anything yet. Not about how you start, it's how you finish. So Raf, we're looking forward to some stuff out of you too. Maybe a little Raf on the road series coming soon with all these road games for the Cavs. All right, I want to get into Booby 4-3, where we have the all-European starting five from Nikola Jokic. Now, this is Jokic's starting five. You guys could react to this, and then I want to hear your top three. So he's got Luka Doncic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Dario Saric, Vucevic, and Jokic. That's his five.
Hey, he just picked out his homeboy.
That's not even the top five of the playing right now. Come on. I love joking, but he's really joking here.
Yeah, for sure. Like that, he just picked out his homeboy. He's showing out his homeboy some love. Couple of them guys can't even get on the floor right now. So yeah, shout out to Joker for his top five. And he's I feel like him and Luka setting something up. Y'all feel the same? I think they trying to down the line. First of all, those two guys should just stay out of the All-Star game. It's already no defense with them. It's no offense. It's no offense either. Luka getting hung was probably the best moment of the game, and Dame coming back and dropping a 50-foot bomb. But if I had to jump on that European list, I'm probably go my introduction to the NBA moment with Tony Parker in the finals. He bust me up real good in the finals. Dirk, I go with Dirk. And then to top it off, I'd probably say my favorite European player of all time is probably Manu Ginobili.
I like it.
He got an Italian last name, but he's really from South America. So I'll step into the Latino world. So we'll give you that because Ginobili is, he's Italian. He played in Italy too. I'm gonna discard Giannis because he's active right now, and I'm gonna discard Jokic.
Right.
So I'm just gonna go with guys that I saw play, but I think Dirk has to be up there. Yeah, there's no doubt about it that Dirk Nowitzki is the trendsetter. I think he raised the bar, and everybody else is trying to get to it. And then I'm gonna go with a little sentimental pick. I think Drazen Petrovic from the Nets. He was a shooter. He played with so much heart, man. You have to enjoy the way Drazen Petrovic played the game, and he passed away before I became a member of the New Jersey Nets, so I got to experience a little bit of what he meant to that organization and to the game of basketball. I think he's the only one. I don't know how many players. I don't want to say he's the only one, but he's one of the few players that have won Olympic medals for two different countries because he first represented Yugoslavia and then he represented his new country, Croatia. So that's something that I'll put him in there. And then on the third spot, it's hard for me to pick one guy. I know Booby always says I always go Booby for three.
I already knew it. 4 or 5.
It's tough, but I'll give you 3 today. I have to go with Pau Gasol. I think what he meant to the Lakers and what he meant to the game of basketball in Spain is something that it is incredible. He's sure Hall of Famer. And so I'll go with Pau, but there's a ton of them that could be put on that list. I know it's only top 3 for Booby for 3, but there's a ton of guys.
I know you want 5. I know you want 4 or 5, Ralph. I think everybody watching the show know Booby for 3 is only for me.
Yeah, these are no guys that I would tell you are the best ones, but guys that I enjoy watching, like Peja Stojakovic when he was and also his teammate Guido Turkulov, man, he was a sniper.
I still got a sore spot for Hedo Turkulov, man.
Same here.
That was the year when LeBron and Kobe were supposed to go to the finals, and they knocked us out.
Yeah, I mean, Hedo Turkulov turned into Michael Jordan during that series against Orlando.
I still cannot stand that guy. I appreciate the gym.
He was a killer. That's what I'm just saying. For me, watching in those days, he was a killer in the player.
And I appreciate that, Jim, too, because Petrovic was a guy that I liked watching just from him being able to shoot the ball. So I didn't know he had won 2 Olympic medals for 2 different countries. That's big time.
Man, he won 2 medals for Yugoslavia and 1 for Croatia.
That's something I kind of want to add to the show, too. I want to start giving some of the guys that I love, their flowers, from here, letting people know some things about them that they might not know. Reggie Miller being another one who they celebrated this weekend, and he was kind of the guy that kind of got me into shooting threes. When I was a kid, my brother would shoot the shot into the trash can. He would always go, Miller for 3, Miller for 3. And so it kind of started to get stuck in my head, and he would make all these game-winning threes. And so from there, I started trying to do countdowns and shoot threes, and that kind of started the whole Booby for 3 vibe.
Speaking of European, that team with Detlef Schrempf and Rich Smith were 2 big guys in those areas. There were so many guys that you're right about, giving guys flowers, even though don't give any flowers to Hannah Montana because she can buy herself flowers.
He went with Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana or Taylor Swift? Which one? Who was it?
No, what's her name?
Miley Cyrus? You went with the stage name. That's hilarious.
Honky Donkey's daughter. Whatever. Honky Donkey. What's his name?
Who?
What's his father's name?
Billy Ray?
Yeah. Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, there you go. But I know there were so many guys back there. And those guys, they opened the door for all the Europeans that we see now, that they could actually, because there's so many guys that we haven't been able to see play here in the U.S. that were great basketball players, like Navarro in Spain, like one of the best point guards I ever seen. And I had the luxury to call the Spanish league for a few years. There's so many of them that didn't make it here, but the ones that did back in those days, when it was really rare to see a European player come in and excel in the NBA, I think it's great for the Giannis of the world and all the Lucas and everything that had actually made the Don Nelson. I think it's to be credited with bringing all those Europeans. Remember Sidunas, Barcelonas, and Sabonis' dad, who were amazing.
He was
amazing
the one, yeah. I just never got to see him. He would have been one of my picks had I been able to see how they talk about some of the stuff he used to do overseas. I've heard the stories.
All right, Booby said something there about Jokic and Doncic. It might have slipped past you, didn't slide past me.
Sure.
More Booby's World right after this, because we're going to talk about that. Welcome on back into Booby's World right here on the Big Play Network. I'm Nick Padone. He's Daniel Booby Gibson. Rafa Hernandez Brito joins us as well. Booby, last segment, you said something real quick there about what Luka and Joker could be setting up.
I feel like they got a little something up their sleeve. They're really, really friendly. Every time we see them around each other in the back, on the court, they pass the ball back and forth the whole time. I just feel like there's something there. I don't know what the contract situation is between those two, but I feel like if there was ever an opportunity for them to link up, we better watch out for the Euro connection in the future for sure.
I never gave too much thought about that because I know they're really good friends, and being a foreigner in this country, I know when you find another person from outside the country, there's a little connection. But just as bad as I feel when somebody gets like the vote of confidence, when they say when a coach gets the vote of confidence, that means that the foot's coming after that. The Joker said today or yesterday that he doesn't want to leave Denver. So Luka can come to Denver if he wants to. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
So what we're saying here is if Luka ever wants out, I think we know where he could want to go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Talk about a big three.
Yeah.
Luka,
talk about a slow three. I'm like, Be the slowest big three ever, because these two.
Hey, but you know what, man? The fastest teams right now in the NBA are some of the ones with the worst records. So
This is true.
I don't think slow means it's bad,
Right.
especially when you can shoot it from everywhere.
Yeah, they'll be the slowest paced team in the league, no question.
It would be cool to see, though. And of course, like, the NBA is such a crazy league in the sense where it's fun to talk about this kind of stuff, but how many times have we seen stuff like this actually materialize? And dare I say, I mean, we've seen it here locally in Cleveland, where Kyrie and Bron were real friendly during a couple All-Star games, and then lo and behold, we get the Sports Illustrated article drops and LeBron's coming right on home. So, I mean, we've seen that play out before.
Absolutely. Nah, I think that these guys, they're cool. And then, I mean, let's talk about it. We think a lot of these guys, they're measured by winning championships. And I feel like the more comfortable you are, the closer you are with your teammates, you try to do it with, at this stage with social media, you're friends. Like, these guys, they become friends in the summertime, and they talk about how they can play together for a long time. And to your point, Ralph, being over in the States by yourself, sometimes you want to have your guy not on the other team, on the team with you. You know what I mean? So that you feel that comfort, or when you at work as well.
For sure. And I don't want to add to my Booby for three. You can't leave Boban Marjanovic out of the
Look,
I'm talking about having your guy with you, Luka, and what's his name, Tobias Harris, are big fans of Boban. But I want to join the.
We knew he was gonna go back and get 4.
I want to join the Fix It Now campaign. How about we just set the All-Star weekend to honor the guys that get elected by the players, the fans, or whatever, and then have the finals or quarterfinals and finals of the in-season tournament.
Oh, put it in All-Star week. I mean, people would watch for sure, because then that would be.
The first edition was awesome.
You might got something with that, Rob. You might got something, because I mean, those guys. We talk about competing. Those guys, we saw a playoff version of LeBron James.
You want to see them play for something and play hard? There you go.
Nah, that's a great idea. Hey, throw that out there, league. Hey, check us out.
And
man,
I do like that too, because it scoots it back a couple months, which is kind of cool. I feel like when it happened this year, the first intro year of the in-season turn-on, there was just a ton going on. So you slide it now, especially lob it the weekend after football. Ooh, talk about go. I think we'd all be locked in on it.
Meaningful game want to see.
Yeah. So,
now I think it's ready to rest the guys that actually played in that thing. I'm just saying, if you want, you have it, but do not expect you can
talk about this too. What did you guys members kind of dumping on Indiana? It happened a little bit here when the All-Star game was in Cleveland, just because it was cold and snowy that weekend. But it feels like in the NFL and in other leagues, they go to Buffalo, they go to Green Bay, and they're propping up those cities as these awesome, historic NFL towns where the fans care so much. Indy, especially for basketball, you would think would have that sort of praise, but it feels like when basketball media has to go anywhere that's not Miami, LA, or anywhere warm, some of the national people start getting a little testy out on social. Did you guys see any of that?
Yeah, no, you spoke right to it. Like I heard Chuck and all those guys take a stab at Indiana. And there's so much basketball, like royalty and tradition in that town, and that's the perfect place to have an All-Star weekend. But you said it, man. If it ain't no sunshine, they not really trying to have a good time. All the stars come out. They want to go to the parties. The game sometimes is the last thing on their mind. So that's why you hear a lot of guys being mad about All-Star weekend not being in a fun place, because that's what they go down there for, to have a good time.
Hey, listen, I love Detroit, but that was the worst Super Bowl I ever went to in my life. I love Indianapolis, and even though they have places and ways to go in and go through the buildings, or Minneapolis, but when you don't come from the cold and you get thrown into 4 inches of snow in a weekend that you think you're going to go celebrate, I can see that, but how many people can actually complain? Come on, Charles Barkley, you're from Alabama. You complaining about Indianapolis? Get out of here. I mean, come on. It is what it is. You're complaining about something you cannot change.
Chuck has something to say about everywhere. He San Antonio, San Francisco, Indiana. He take care. Chuck ain't got no filter. He go at everybody.
That's for sure. All right, we are going down memory lane with Booby right after this. Don't go anywhere.
5 minutes.
Welcome on back into Booby's World. What a show, guys. Daniel Booby Gibson, Rafa Hernandez Brito. I'm Nick Padone. Booby, we're excited for the Stop the Violence All-Star event coming up. Have you ever played in your retired life now in this kind of like...
I wasn't able to get on the floor. But it's really just a good time for the fans to be able to see you in a different... They haven't seen me on the floor. They haven't even seen me really in that environment outside of coaching. So really it's just a chance to be able to get out with the community, show some love, and just let the fans know and let the people know it's okay, because what the event is for is a tough cause, because people go through these things all the time. But this is just my way of shining the light and bringing some smiles to the city of Cleveland, that's been going through some tough times lately.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great event. I just want to say something to the public here, the millions watching Big Play, that I've been in the broadcast business for 26 years, worked over a dozen World Series, called one of them, called 4 finals for the Cavs, and worked another 4 for Univision, called 13 Super Bowls, hundreds of championship boxing events and UFC events, but I'm still not at the level of celebrity to be even invited to the violence game. So please, come play with me.
You were invited right as it was created. What do you mean? I'm going to be coaching. I'm going to be announcing. We're going to be chopping. There's a lot of things going to be going on during this game, man. You know you're more than welcome, my guy.
You know I support you, but hey, let's stop the violence. That's a very important message, and let's enjoy ourselves. I promise you that I will bring anybody here on Dumb Mistake of the Week if they complain about not playing hard tomorrow in the event. Yeah. And remember, you have to take Mayor bids, that we still have the Mayor versus Mayor challenge.
Absolutely.
Here in Cleveland.
Absolutely. He's a big part of this too. He wanted to send his love for the event. We did 1079 a day. We did Good Morning Cleveland. So the word's out, and tomorrow should be a fun night.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be out there showing love. It's going to be really cool. My old stomping grounds of Garfield Heights. Really cool place to do it. Appreciate you, Booby, giving back. For sure. And we do got to get that mayor on mayor rivalry on the books. I want to see Raf playing like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals and trying to stop Mayor Bibb off that dribble. Because I think Mayor Bibb could play a little bit, Raf. I think you're underestimating him.
I know that. I know he played, but I never backed down from a challenge, man. Come on.
Yeah. He got.
I'll be playing hard.
He got a little game. Hey, Ralph, off topic. My birthday coming up. I'm thinking about what you think about me doing a OnlyFans for the big girls. If she ain't too something trying to do. If she ain't too something, I ain't trying to do no. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm trying to. I think that's my only way to reach them. Right? It's my birthday. It could be like a charity case, and then they said OnlyFans now. It's more about the content than the other stuff that be going on. So this could be the perfect place to create a room. And you feel me? What you think? You think that a good idea? Or you think I'm reaching?
I'm right behind you, Booby. You tell me what I need to do.
Wait. So you need to explain this a little bit better. Okay. For me.
So what I'm thinking is, right? I saw another artist create an OnlyFans, and this is where she was able to put out her music, right?
Okay.
And so for me, it's called OnlyFans. People gave it different contradictions, but it means only your fans can get this content. So I'm thinking I create a chat room in the room for my thick women or whoever to be able to for us to be able to have a conversation. I can't never find them, and we can't never have these conversations. So I'm gonna create the place for it, and then I'm gonna drop the music too. I just think it's I'm trying to find. There you go. I'm trying to find love, man. It's tough, man. It's tough out here.
All right, the month of February, Valentine's Day is behind us, but Booby still has love on his mind. So be on the lookout for that. We are always idea creating here on Booby's World. Really, really the stomping ground for where all good ideas are born here on the Big Play Network. So Booby, you'll have to keep us posted on that.
I'm trying. I spent Valentine's Day alone, man. It's time to figure this thing out, man. It's time to figure it out.
We will get it figured out. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Booby's World right here on Big Play. Make sure to show us some love on social media. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call that. We're on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe to us, watch the show, engage with the show. We're reading your comments. So we want to hear from you, and be careful before you send out something dumb, because Raf might rip it apart right on this show. More Booby's World next week. Until then, shoot it, Booby.
Yes, sir.